The healing pool is it's an outgrowth of some earlier work I did, maybe about 6 years ago. I did a series of pieces called Healing 1, 2, and 3. And each one was looking at change in response to change. And each one was a small carpet of about 9 feet by 6 feet. And they're all very similar. They are projected images on the floor with very organic patterns on the floor. And it's also very pop colors, very bright colors. I was trying to go for something that was natural but alien at the same time. And as you walk across the pieces, they wound. You wound them, you change them. And then each one responds in a different way. So one of the pieces grows back, but the two sides of the wound never touch. One of the other pieces, after you walked across it, it would take your movement and distill it to its essence, to like a straight line, and then that line would go away. And another piece was very aggressive. It didn't like being naked, and so it would pop, and it would explode into existence to cover itself again. So with the healing pool, what I was trying to do is combine some of these methods, have a sense of a piece that had different modes at the same time that interacted, and to almost try to create a bit more of a sacred space, a bigger piece, because all of these pieces are about interaction in some way. So you are interacting with the piece, and the piece is reacting to you, but also you are interacting with the other people on the piece. So by making it bigger, I was able to bring more than one or two people. Now you can have several groups of people. And I was just sort of interested in the interaction that might happen then. And one of the things about these pieces that's important to me is that they exist whether or not you walk across them. When you walk across, they make a change and they react to that change, but they aren't angry or they aren't happy. They just do what they do, And each of these pieces, the pattern wants to be everywhere. So when you wound it, it wants to grow back into that place, and how it grows back is different in the different areas. So you see emergent patterns all over the world. When you see fish schooling or birds flocking, or patterns in nature like zebra stripes or cheetah spots, or even how we build our houses, how we distribute them, the stock market, how it goes up and down. There's no ruler saying this is the way it should be. There are lots and lots of little different things that are all communicating together to form this beautiful thing that we see as an individual, as a flock of birds or as a school of fish. And so these patterns that I'm creating are based in the same way. I never say, nowhere in my code is there anywhere where it says, draw this line, draw this circle. All it says is it says each pixel needs to look at its neighbors, look at it what color it currently is, and go and update itself. That's all it knows. Each pixel only knows about its neighbors. But if you set up the right set of rules, it results in this really beautiful global behavior that you see on the floor. So it's a pattern that emerges out of these smaller things that happen. I remember looking at human cells in a microscope, and you see the cell, and the cell moves, it eats, it divides, and it can't last very long. It dies after a while. But when you see that, it really brings into question who you are, because this thing is alive too. It has a goal. It wants to be alive, and you just take billions and billions of those and put them together, and you get this entity that we call me. So in a way, all these pieces have some of those questions in them as well. You look at that piece, and many people have an emotional response. The piece is trying to grow. I am destroying it, or there's. You sense that it has an intelligence, but really it's very, very simple mathematics underneath it. In all of my work, I try to make it so that the person can figure out the boundaries of what it can do very quickly, because I think with this kind of work, there's often a tendency to treat it as a video game and to try to break it. So you try to find all of the everything you can do, and then try to push those limits, and then you can sort of enjoy. And so I try to make it very simple, so people get over that quickly. They get it, they understand, and then they can have an experience. So they're not constantly in that mode of, you know, what if I did this and what if I did that, and you know, if there are 6 rooms, you have to go into every single room, you know, but instead you just go into the one room, you see it, there it is, and now you can just have an interaction with it.